Hey, before we kick things off here, we do want to talk about our presenting sponsor, and of course, that is the great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. Winter means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Make these moments even better with Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer. For people who love beer, a new year is the perfect time for friends, family, and great tasting light beer. It's Miller time. Dave, why is it the perfect light beer for beer lovers?
I mean, you've touched on a few of the points. It's great tasting. It's less filling. It's great for building camaraderie with friends. Everybody likes to hang out. You know, it could be in the garage. It could be in the tailgate lot. It could be at the bar. And it's always best when it's complemented with Miller Lite.
I agree. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers. It's made from simple ingredients. Miller Lite is for the people who love the taste of beer. It's got that malted barley. It gives it the rich, balanced toffee note flavors and the golden color you know and love. And it's got that clean finish. It means it's always refreshing and easy to drink. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/redline to find the delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. All right, bang, bang. Welcome to the show. This is Eddie.
Dave.
Chief.
And this is the last episode
Of Redline.
branded under Redline.
Correct.
It's not the last episode of this feed and this podcast.
Us three idiots.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's not the.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, so the official changes will be made next week.
Yeah.
Next week.
February 14th will be the first new show. New format, new show, new name, new everything.
Get into it, Chief. Get into it. Tell us about it.
So we're calling it the mid show. We're aware of the joke. That's part of the joke. It's mid.
Mid means bad.
Mid doesn't mean bad.
It doesn't mean bad. It means you're right in the meaty part of the curve, Ed.
Yeah, we're mid.
It means mid.
Yeah.
Middle.
We're average.
Yeah, right. And that's where we're gonna try to be above average, but we're gonna do a show middle of the day, Midwest, mid guys. No, it's the mid.
Yeah, Midwest, middle of the day. So here's the plan. Starting on Tuesday, we will be live on YouTube at 2 p.m. Central Time. As far as this show that you're listening to on Thursday morning, pretty much nothing is going to change.
Correct.
Okay, so this will still be available Thursday morning in podcast form, and it'll be about, give or take, an hour and a half. And the first half will be kind of about random headlines, different topics, non-sports related. We're just going to bullshit, kind of like we did with Barstool Sirius Radio, which we really liked, and that's kind of the banter we're going for. And then probably like the last half hour, depends how the Chicago sports news are flowing that day, we're going to hop on the Red Line. It's going to be called the Red Line segment, and kind of a nod to our past 5 years.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about Chicago sports a little bit. So if you're new and you're only listening for like the banter, the new banter, we'll be like, hey, like this is the time you could stop it. Or if you want to stick along and listen to Chicago sports, you could do that too. And if you're like, hey, we just want to listen to sports, we'll give you a time code off the top and you can fast forward to there. So it's kind of the best of both worlds for old and new. And we hope you guys like it.
Yeah, and I think we really enjoyed doing the Sirius show. I think we had a lot of fun with that back in 2020 to early 2021. So we want to have more of that vibe and give it to people more often. But ultimately, we are Chicago guys. We're Chicago sports guys. We like talking about that stuff, and we don't want to just completely just turn our backs on that. So we're going to have that incorporated into that show as well. So if you like Sirius and you like Redline, well, guess what? Now you have both.
You're getting both, exactly.
Yep.
And the Tuesday show will be only Sirius style radio, where we talk about Dave getting his nose bitten off by local Chicago personalities, or Dave having his beard up to his eyeballs, and shit like that.
Right.
And that's going to be live at 2 p.m. on the Barstool Chicago YouTube, and as well as the podcast feed. So your Tuesday drive time, it'll be posted by then. So if you're driving home, 5 p.m., it'll be up for you, ready to go, right? Tom will be good to go by then. It'll be posted, ready to go. So if you can't tune in live, that's okay. So there you have it, 2 times a week. And the plan is to do more once we can do more. Why we're not doing more, we're starting slow, is because when you kind of have a bare bones crew, you kind of have to. So that's where we're at. And we kind of wanted to go with this because we are going to also implement the White Sox Dave Challenge will be coming back as well.
It never was really here, to be honest.
It started, which is sneaky, one of my favorite videos of all time.
With Cade?
Yes.
That little douche. Where's he at? I know he's listening.
Yeah.
No, I like Cade, and I've met Cade many times since then.
Cade, yeah.
So there was a kid from Naperville who said he would strike out White Sox Dave in 3 pitches, and we proceeded to meet this kid and get kicked off of 3 baseball fields until it
UIC, St. Ignatius, and somewhere else,
Yeah,
right?
Some little like softball field somewhere.
Yeah, until it happened. And shit like that we're going to be doing more of. It's looking like it's going to be every other week, probably Stool Scene's off week. And just putting White Sox Dave in random situations, because I think that's what people want to see more of. And I think that's going to be fun to see too. So that's going to be good content we could have you guys view, and then we'll bring it back where we could talk about it on the show. And we should say it starts next week with the first show. So the first show will be Valentine's Day. We'll be live on Tuesday at 2 p.m. and Jeff Nadeau is going to be in Chicago, and that's going to be your first challenge facing off against him. So
Who do you think is going to win?
I don't know, dude, because I don't know how women think. So the challenge is
Jeff Nadeau does. I don't.
that he claims he says he knows how women think.
If you follow him on Twitter, he's been in his bag a lot.
Yeah, correct. So the first challenge is going to be, so I think Dante's going to accompany us too. So it's going to be a whole big round table. It's going to be the 3 of us. Jeff's going to be in for the first episode. Dante's going to be here. So we're going to have 5 mics rolling. And the first contest is we're throwing a Valentine's Day party at Barstool River North. We can't do the girl off or whatever with White Sox Dave versus Jeff. So this is kind of the next thing here, where White Sox Dave and Nadeau are going to have $500 each. And then as soon as we press stop after an hour show on Tuesday, we're going to go hit Michigan Avenue, and they're both going to go to a designer store, and they both have a $500 budget, and they're going to buy an item to be raffled off.
See, I want to amend that, because like we just got done recording the snake draft with Rhea and Fran. Not going to give out any spoilers for that or tip but it was with Rhea and Fran, and they're like, you're not getting shit for $500.
I actually think that's better, and I think that they should be allowed to go to multiple stores.
That's what I'm saying too. I want to put
They can
together
go
like a
wherever
little
they want.
package, like a Valentine's Day package.
gift
So say
bag.
I get like $100 purse and like a
If
$50
you want
box
listen,
of chocolate.
you have $500. You can't go over it.
That's fine. Yeah.
You can't go over it. Listen, we're working with the budget Barstool gave us, and things are tight here now. You listen to every show, everyone's talking about that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at. So unfortunately, I wish we could give you guys $2,000 a pop, and you could get a nice handbag. That'd be great, but we can't. So that's where we're at. But if you want to get multiple things, like go do your thing, whatever, that's fine. Multiple stories. That's the point. We're going to be filming the whole thing. I'm going to grab a camera with Tom, and we're going to go with Nadeau. You're going to go with Chief and Harry, and we're going to be filming the whole thing. You're going to watch the whole thing unfold on Stool Scenes next Friday, right? There's a Stool Scenes week next Friday. Yeah, and it's going to be it's going to be funny. And then basically, when the girls show up to the bar tomorrow or on Tuesday, they're going to have one raffle ticket, and they can only enter one drawing, and they don't know who's who, and they're going to drop it into one bucket, and whichever has more tickets in it, they win the
challenge.
On that note,
yeah,
women in attendance are a big part of the success of this challenge. So if you're one of the 3 chicks that I might have been overstating 3 right there. If you know a chick, bring her to the bar on Valentine's Day. It'll be fun. We're gonna, get drunk and throw a party.
Dante's DJing. He's gonna do
it's gonna be a good time. So it's not like you just come, show up, slip the vote into whatever basket. Like, come have a good time with us on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it's gonna be. We're gonna be there at like 8 p.m. Dante's playing from 9 to 10. So and listen, I know it's a Tuesday, but just come hang out, have a couple cocktails.
Yeah, get some fried food in you.
Yeah,
Yep.
Barstool River North. It'll be a good time. And no cheating, Dave. To say the least.
I don't even know how you could cheat.
Well, he
You
could
could
just
get
tell people like,
advice.
"Hey, this is my bag." He could get advice.
Oh no!
This has to be his brain.
The point,
I already.
Well, if it was really his brain, you know what he would do? He'd just put $500 in a bag.
Yeah, you can't buy a gift card.
Right.
There's no.
I gave my mom cash for Christmas.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
There's no gift card, nothing like that. So yeah, that's gonna be the first challenge, and then from there, like, this is what's gonna be cool is we could like lean on the audience a lot too, where you guys get involved. Like, if someone wants a challenge, Dave, Like,
Let's hear
hey,
it.
this is your spot.
You have to have a good one though.
Well,
Totally, yeah.
that Cade thing, we left that part out. He's like, I strike you out on 3 pitches. Shows up. He couldn't throw it 60 feet.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I wanted some little Naperville Central kid to like come in humming 88 and actually challenge me.
Yeah.
Like he was throwing so slow, like that made it hard. So don't be that guy.
Yeah.
And Cade,
But
I know
we
you're
like
listening.
Cade.
Fuck off. Yeah, no, I've met Cade probably 5 times since then. Cade's great.
Yeah.
But he's a little shithead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was fun. That was really like that whole like I want to repost that and then post the post game interview we did afterwards because it was the whole debacle was just funny because I think a lot of people just enjoy seeing.
I'm not going
in
to
the
go
wild.
into it, but that day I wanted to fist fight
Everyone.
Everyone.
everybody.
Yes.
Specifically one person, but
Exactly.
everybody.
It
Well,
was, it was great.
We left out the part where Cade couldn't throw it 60 feet. We also left out the part where Dave didn't bring a bat.
we got to field 3 where we realized White Sox Dave did not have a bat.
It's not that I didn't bring one, it's that I didn't have one. And the catcher that showed up for us that day, he forgot his bat bag in his car, and we had a bat. He forgot it. But he's like, do you got a bat? I'm like, I don't own a bat anymore.
Mm-hmm. So that's the long and short of it. The mid show will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesday will be live at 2 p.m. Central, and it will be an hour long, Chicago Sirius radio style, just kind of riffing, talking about whatever, and it'll be just headlines and shit like that, just kind of talking.
Guys being dudes.
Guys being dudes, exactly. Yeah. And then Thursday will be a little bit of that with a little bit of Chicago sports.
Yeah, we'll still have interviews and stuff too. Like I got Lance Lynn coming in. Han will come in after the start of the season. So like you're still going to see that shit.
Yeah.
So
we're basically just giving you more content. Yeah. And like the goal in this is to give you just more on top of that in the end. You know, like if the appetite's there and we could get more, we want to add Wednesday, and then we'll go Friday, Thursday, Friday, Monday. You know what I mean? So that's the
right. We just want to have a show where we're having fun and putting more out. And, yeah,
exactly.
And the video content that will complement it will be great too, I think.
Subscribe.
Yes.
Subscribe
to the YouTube. And then, like I said, off week stool scenes, there will be a White Sox Dave challenge. And it's just different because when White Sox Dave goes to shoot a Francis video or a Donnie video, or I have to go, do whatever, and Chief's out of town and for a wedding, whatever. It's we don't have fill-ins. We don't have a big office to fill in, so it's different too.
And Danny and Tom will probably be in the mix more too as well. I think that's definitely part of the plan. To push this thing along. And then obviously everybody knows now there's a big migration coming, and when appropriate, we'll have a couple guys who settle out here be on the show too. So it's gonna be, we're gonna have fun doing it. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. So.
And I think you'll like it.
Yeah, I think so too. So that's the goal. We will.
I'm very excited. A little nervous. I won't lie. A little nervous because change makes me nervous. But
what are you nervous about?
I don't want to say that it won't work. More that, like I said, it's going to be different. Like my routine's going to be thrown off personally. All ours are, especially with the mass migration. But I'm ready to embrace the challenge. I think we all are.
There you go. All right, yeah. So that's the gist of it. So the mid show coming on Tuesday, February 14th.
Well, and like a good example of how things are changing is we could, like stuff like the 80 for Brady. Like we're going to be out in the wild more, doing more content like that. Yeah.
So, and it's just better because you just have more stuff to talk and bring to the table. And that was missing for a while, and we had that during the serious years. And I mean, there's reasons for that was missing, but it's gonna all kind of circle back to that, and that's a good thing. So that's really all it boils down to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
the mid show coming on Tuesday, and like I said, we'll still be hopping on the red line on Thursdays.
I hate when you describe it like that.
Why?
Didn't you originally hate that?
What do you mean?
We had a way back
segment.
I said
where
are you at on the red line?
Yeah, because it's like I don't ride the red line, so like I couldn't tell you the difference between the 79th stop and like Howard at obviously.
Yeah, but I
could tell you the difference between those two stops.
Yes, you could.
Yes,
but
my point. Point taken.
Like no one really knows what that
Yes,
means.
exactly.
Yeah. So that was, you know what is weird about the red line now?
Yeah.
Because I've been taking it more. It's gotten better since they started having those private securities. But when I would get on at like State and Lake, and that's like a subway one, it's hotboxed. So everybody is just smoking weed in that subway station to the point where you get like a contact high.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Crazy.
All right, so let's move it over to our field trip that we took last week. The whole crew, the whole Chicago office went to the theaters. We saw 80 for Brady after our discussion we had on the podcast in Dave's love for Tom Brady. Dave, you could take the floor. Do you want to start with a 1 through 10? Do you want to break it down? I know you had a notes app list going.
I can pull it up. You want me to just rapid fire, Ed?
No.
What were the things you like best about
yeah,
it?
let's be
Best?
let's be
Well,
let's
there
have
was
a little
nothing
decorum about this.
good about the movie.
That's not
and,
true. You didn't-
Jane Fonda looked kind of good as an 80-year-old. I'd give her a throw.
Okay. That was good. So geriatric women. Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else you got?
I mean, it was just a bunch of notes from the movie. And if there was a part in the movie that I enjoyed,
Well, let's
I would
start
have
with this.
included
All right.
that in my notes.
All right, let's start. Did you like the movie, Dave?
No, absolutely not. It was fucking horrible.
Okay, so what would you give it 1 through 10?
I think I gave it a 0.6, and I bumped it up from 0.3 because it was based on a true story. And I appreciate that.
Okay.
What was the one 0 stars and I'm
And I'm
pissed?
pissed.
That was
That was the
Many Saints of
Sopranos.
Newark.
Many
Newark.
Saints of Newark.
Yeah.
So what was your reaction compared to that? Because I feel like your 3 movie takes,
I mean,
or your
it's-
2 movie takes are the Joker and this. The Joker
And then
Many
Denzel.
Saints of Newark.
and that, right.
Yeah.
Many Saints of Newark, I went into like I don't want to say greatness because those movies, like for instance, it was El Camino, the
Yeah.
Breaking Bad spinoff with Jesse Pinkman. I thought if Many Saints of Newark were on that level, because I thought that was a solid
Yeah, it
good
was
movie.
good.
It wasn't nearly as good as Breaking Bad or anything
could
like
it be?
that, but it was a perfectly fine spinoff that I enjoyed watching for 2 hours. Many Saints of Newark was not even close to that. It wasn't even in the same universe. I didn't
Right.
think.
Okay. So you're disappointed in those.
I was insanely disappointed with Many Saints of Newark.
So you'd
but
rather watch this.
this I went into knowing it was going to suck. I mean, it's produced by Tom Brady, who's obviously not a producer; he's a quarterback, and you knew it was completely what I expected, but I expected awfulness.
See, but that's why I don't think it was as bad as I expected. It was bad. Don't get me wrong. However,
It wasn't like I was gouging my eyes out in the theater.
but I was more, when you come in with low expectations, like you're like, okay,
Right, yeah.
it's hard to be disappointed. But if you come into a movie when you have high expectations and it absolutely bombs,
Yeah.
those are tougher to swallow.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's what it was for me in Many Saints.
So
of
to
Newark.
you to come in below a 1 seems tough. However, it wasn't good.
There are some movies that are so bad that I watch, and I've brought this movie up a bunch of times now. It's The Happening, the M. Night Shyamalan movie, where the trees kill people. That movie is the worst movie I've ever seen, but when it's on TV, I'll watch it to like the next commercial or whatever because it's that bad. I like can get a laugh out of it. This movie, I will never watch a second of again. Not 1 second of it.
Which is fair because there was. What did? Do you have anything, Tom? You went to film school. You sat
I
down.
did go to film school, yeah.
Yes, you did. So let us know your thoughts.
Shout out the Stags.
Yeah, no, I think Dave's being generous. I think it was worse than whatever he gave it.
Really?
It was a horrible
0.6.
movie. Yeah.
But this is
Eddie's
also
logic. Your logic just makes no sense about it. Like your logic is all like based off of like expectations. When it's like, all right, forget about that.
But
Talk
the
about it in a
movie-
vacuum.
Yeah, and a
Right.
vacuum was a horrible movie,
but it's funny that
and there's nothing redeeming about it.
I've seen like the Lights Camera Barstool guys, at least Gooch and like Castellani, like they gave it better reviews than they thought they would give it because of that.
I thought Tom Brady legitimately in his big speaking part he nailed it.
He
Like,
was
not even joking. Like
No,
Tom Brady
he
nailed his
was-
speaking line.
I mean,
Got choked up a little bit.
So there's athlete
I also
cameos in
think-
a lot of movies, like Brett Favre and Something About Mary, for instance. It's like, dude, don't ever go on camera again. Like Tom Brady he was fine.
He's acted before.
Has he?
He was in Stuck on You with
Oh, the Matt Damon.
yeah. What's his face?
Yeah.
But Tom, I feel like your view of it is skewed just because you are a Jets fan and you had to like sit through some of your nightmares again.
Yeah, I think you guys are forgetting that part.
Yeah, no,
that was just Patriots Brady porn. Like the last thing I needed to see was like almost like we were rewatching that game.
And here's the thing too, from their perspective, and maybe mine. I guess recently, as of note, I guess I've had like Movie Pass since like 2017, so we've seen more bad movies recently. You guys just don't see as many bad movies as
because I just won't go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also like just condescending, like the way the story went out. Like it was like made for little kids, or
Listen, it was
and it was all geriatric women in the theater, and
now,
then us.
Now, to me, like the bobblehead wink. There's a part of the movie, if you haven't seen it, where she like gets a sign from the bobblehead and it winks, and it's a Tom Brady bobblehead. The Tom Brady bobblehead talks.
She has a vision.
Yeah. And like, listen, I like, Indian in the Cupboard was a fine movie, like if you want to go back, and I'm not against figurine. I like Small Soldiers.
Small Soldiers is an awesome
I'm
movie.
not against figurines.
I would watch Small Soldiers right now.
Yeah, I'm not against figurines doing some talking, but this was a bit much.
I mean, it was Mufasa in the clouds, but it was Tom Brady and as a
That's exactly what it
bobblehead.
was.
Yeah, it was not. It was not.
And then also the other take coming out from it was like, if you're a Patriots fan, I feel like if anything, I should maybe love it, because it's like embarrassing for like the Patriots.
Yeah.
and
That's
that
true.
whole like allure of
That's
the
true.
Bill Belichick, Tom Brady Patriots. Like,
I'm glad you brought that up, because at the end of the movie, and
kind of ruins the championship.
they had the
when you think about
fucking
it.
half bucks,
Does it?
half patch jerseys. If you're a Boston fan and have ever worn one of those, you should jump off of the fucking into the Atlantic Ocean, off Plymouth Rock.
And they take so much pride in their like schemes and like their all their coaching in like that booth. Like the fact that like they're crediting the championship to old ladies. And I know it's a movie, just saying.
Yeah.
If it was the other way around and it was about a New York team, believe me, it would be like,
and
I'd
thought-
be getting the same shit.
Listen, I'm trying to look at a little positives here. I thought some of the ladies,
Yeah, a little too much. I think
some of the ladies were kind of endearing. Like Sally
spending
Field
too
was
much
good,
time
and I
spending-
thought
Sure.
Jane Fonda was good.
She was a hoe.
Yeah, Jane Fonda's still a hoe. But here's the thing: like Sally Field had like she is like Steel Magnolias, Forrest Gump.
Why
Like,
is she doing this?
That's my.
yes.
Can't you just sit around and wait for like?
But why not do it? That's
Because
everyone,
you're Sally Field, you're
Exactly.
a multi-Oscar winner.
But
with
why not have some fun, dude, with the girls? Like maybe those are her friends. People always shit
Jane
on.
Fonda was winning Oscars in the 60s. That she's been famous for a fucking half
Yes,
century.
but that's the point. You're 85. You're like, yeah, I'll do a little fucking comedy and like fuck around. Like, why not? Life's not that serious. Maybe.
I
That's
wouldn't
the point.
want my
People
name
say that
attached
about-
to a shitbox movie like that.
People say that about Leo. It's like, would it kill him to do a rom com? Would it kill him to have a little fun? Does he always have to get eaten by a fucking bear?
I would-
and hang on to a
He
sinking
likes to
ship?
challenge himself, man.
Yes,
I think that's one of the coolest things about Leonardo DiCaprio. Just to chime in here as a guy who likes movies. He's one of those guys. You look at a list of movies and you could tell he says no to everything that isn't going to be a legitimate good movie.
Sure. By
Once
and
upon
large,
a time in
yes.
Hollywood, he was funny in. That was like kind of a silly, funny movie in a way.
By and large, yes.
Django, he was-
By and large, yes, I agree with you guys.
Yeah.
But I think you're being a little stuffy if you say the girls can't have a little fun. It was a fucking old lady grown-ups too. That's what it was.
I like bad movies.
Ed's trying to like talk people into going to see it right
no,
now.
I'm
I'm
not.
saying if you want-
like, see,
we can-
that's now you're being a dick. No, I'm not.
Yeah, you
You're
are.
defending the movie
You like-
way too
yeah,
much.
You're defending
The
it
movie
more
just
than you're
sucked.
even talking. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not defending
The
it.
movie
The
sucked.
movie was. I literally
He's
just
trying
said,
to balance out the room.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm trying
Yeah.
to balance out the room, saying a 0.3 to a 0.6. Like, I've seen, like, dude, fucking. Listen, respect the troops. 15-17 to Paris, that Clint Eastwood movie. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it.
No.
That movie was awful.
I've heard it's like one
It's
of the worst.
one of the
movies
worst
ever
movies
made.
I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, and you expected more from that movie.
Yeah,
because it's
for
Clint
sure.
Eastwood.
I mean,
it's like
but here's the
it's
thing.
also
Like,
a
you
true
asked me what
story.
my score is, and I say, I don't know, 0.6 up from 0.3 because it's based on a true story. If I would have said 3-2, what's the difference? It sucked anyways.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything else?
No,
to
I got
comment
nothing.
on?
That movie blew.
You want to just fire off your list because you're
Listen, the offensive coordinator thing was just fucking brutal. Like,
yeah.
and him talking to Tom Brady in the helmet was just awful.
And that Tom Brady roll call chant they did at the end, where they like rolled their arms.
Oh, yeah.
Yippee.
Doesn't matter. There was a lot of
Tom Brady.
Yeah, there was a lot of it was not good. It was fucking bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
We didn't even mention what the worst part of the whole movie was, in my opinion. which was like the radio host, podcast host, Boston guys.
Oh yeah, Felger and Maz.
Yeah, like yeah, exactly. It was like a caricature.
Ron
of,
Curdroy.
It was so cringy and awful every time they were worse than anything else.
See, to me, that was the worst part of the movie because they could have made those guys funny.
Totally,
and they didn't.
Yeah.
The part that I cringed the most at by far was when he got off the helmet mic with what's her face, and it was a forced fuck. He goes, "Let's fucking go," and they didn't bleep it out or anything, and it was like, dude,
I'm sure he probably said that.
Oh, definitely. But in this
they
movie,
they should have just ripped it from like NFL films,
or that
would have been a lot cooler. But whatever. But yeah, it sucked.
Marshawn Lynch was just stoned as fuck in the background of that poker scene.
And
that was kind of
for
funny.
people,
I'm saying like the throwaway gags like that. Like you asked me like all jokes aside, like as a movie guy, films too. You don't even have to look at it that perspective. Like you just look like you can judge a movie if it's a bad movie. Of like it still made me laugh. There were still parts where they had like funny moments. The parts that could have been funny, they weren't even funny. Like the radio hosts, the poker room scene, like all that stuff was just like written by someone who thought they knew what was funny.
That was one of my notes actually. Like they had this running joke where I forget which one it was. It was 4 old ladies. One of the old ladies, she had a fanny pack that she like strapped around her entire body instead of just her waist, and she kept calling it a strap on.
Yeah.
And she'd always be like, "Oh, where's my strap on?" And like it's like, dude,
We got it.
we get it. And it was a joke throughout the entire movie.
Yep, sure. Fair con. Bad.
It was like, stop.
Eddie just said you had a fair con for the first time in this conversation.
Bad joke.
What was the guy's shirt he's wearing? Wicked Winners.
Wicked Winners.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the Winners was
Yeah.
AHS.
that was more embarrassing than maybe like the offensive coordinator part if you're a Boston fan.
I also like
Yeah, for
if
people
you're
that don't know, we didn't really set that up well. So basically in the movie, they go to the Super Bowl, and it's the 28-3 Falcons Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And when they go down 28-3, these 4 old ladies find themselves in the offensive coordinator booth, and they call plays, and they give this big pump-up speech about how this, spoiler alert, if you care, about how she beat cancer and how Tom can win this game.
Yeah.
And Tom Brady listens on the helmet and then says, "Let's
was
fucking
like inspired.
go."
And
Yeah, and it was
fuck off.
It's very shitty.
No, it's the worst movie I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. Maybe ever.
It was like someone who was it like, oh, it wasn't gouge your eyes out bad. It was kind of for me. Like it kind of hurt to sit down in that movie theater.
Do you think that they approached Belichick?
I'm sure they did. I bet you tried. I mean, why not? That was just.
I mean, all those guys are. I don't know when they filmed it.
Yeah.
I mean, Brady was very clearly behind a green screen, filmed
the
every
entire time.
Yeah.
every scene besides maybe a couple of them.
The last 5 minutes of the movie is the only part of the movie is actually in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously Gronk is retired. Edelman's retired.
Amendola had a part.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Brutal.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we need to spend any more time on Eddie for
worst.
Brady, but it was a nice field trip. You could watch the whole documenting of our time on Stool Scenes tomorrow.
Yeah. That's going to be an all-time must-watch
Yes.
part. The funniest part was after the movie.
Yes, the funniest part was after the movie. When
Why is that?
Because Dave left us all stranded in a parking lot.
That's not true.
I had to be in the back of a Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have a GoPro on Dave the whole movie, like Shia LaBeouf. We pulled that off, so it'll be good.
It'll be funny. The only part that I wish we got is that as soon as I sat down with my popcorn, Harry came by and spilled my entire bag. Like I had like maybe 3 bites of popcorn, and Harry just knocked on the phone. He's, "Oh, sorry." Yeah. Fucking Harry.
Well, the funniest part too was the 4D experience. We were in the movie theater with like the gals.
Yeah.
That FaceTime that happened in like the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Do we have that on camera, Tom?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We might have something. Someone have filled something. Yeah, there was older women, and the girls that if you follow us on social, the ones that I took a picture with. But yeah, there was a woman just on FaceTime speakerphone the whole time.
A full blown like yelling speakerphone conversation.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's your 80 for Brady review.
No, I know you did say this, that you thought that I was just going to be some savage beast in the movie theater and that I don't have any movie theater etiquette. And once I proved that incorrect, you just kind of dropped it and hoped I'd never bring it up again.
No, I mean, you were, I was surprised. I guess it's interesting because you want to bring it up as banter on the show, so you were taking notes the whole time. So
I don't think I sent one text message that entire movie.
I saw you were on Twitter for a little bit.
Yeah, I probably pulled up Twitter a handful of times.
You had to feed your social media addiction,
which we all have.
I was off my phone the whole time.
Yeah, I was off my phone the whole time.
I didn't look at Twitter once. I don't believe that.
I swear to God.
I don't believe it.
Rico called me at one point, so I had to look at my phone and silence it, but that's it.
I will. That is actually like my favorite part of going to the movies.
Same. That's why I go to the movies so much. But all right, I got to take off, go to Scottsdale. But before we do anything Super Bowl wise,
we got any props that we like?
Dave and I are going to be at the Barstool Bar for the Super Bowl, so we're hosting a little event. It should be a good time. So come on out to the Barstool Bar. It'll be fun. This is one of this and the end of college football are probably the two games where I have like the most bets going, like just different things. So I got to look at the book. I am sticking with I think the Eagles might kind of stink or might be overrated, and I think the Chiefs are going to win.
That's
that game.
my play too.
Yeah.
I am firing live bullets again.
Oh, there you go. How's that feel?
Well, starting with this weekend.
With the Super Bowl?
Yeah,
okay.
with the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we'll see.
You gotta get your legs loose a little bit before March Madness.
Yep.
Yeah. So all right, I'll let you guys get into it then.
All right.
And
you don't have anything for the Super Bowl?
No, I mean right now I'm leaning Chiefs, and I always bet the coin toss.
Which side do you bet?
I always bet tails.
Yeah, of course.
Always bet tails.
Yep.
So that's my play.
I always bet heads.
So right now I'm leaning Chiefs. Do you?
I've never bet on the coin toss, I don't think, but whenever I would call the coin toss,
makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. So yeah, I'm leaning Chiefs, and I'm leaning tails. Besides that, like I just do it like the day before. Like I don't like I kind
of do it that morning.
Do you? Yeah. Like I don't like I'm not.
I just start clicking buttons
responsibly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I do. I'm more of. Super Bowl is big, you get into the squares and stuff like that. So
yeah,
that's like a big thing.
It is like a full day, a full weekend event. I don't think they do it as much anymore, but I used to love those half-hour marathons that they would do of all the Super Bowls, like all the way start Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday up until the game. John Facenda, all the old voices, and I would just sit there and watch that the whole weekend and love it.
That's nice.
So.
All right, so
Ed did say that he is going to run on the field and de-pants Rihanna at the halftime show. So watch out for that as well.
Look out for that. I'm not going to the game, but
wardrobe malfunction. It's been about 20 years. That didn't stop the
Brady 4. They snuck in.
It's true.
I will not even be in. I don't even think I'll be there for the game. But go to Barstool River North Valentine's Day. You guys will be there for the Super Bowl too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. We'll be there the following weekend too. We'll have an announcement about that, but we're doing a little fundraiser for CPD.
Yep.
Cool.
On 2/18.
Cool. All right. Sounds good.
All right. We're back. Second half of the show. Eddie's now in Arizona. See who else is in Arizona?
Who's in Arizona?
Big weekend. A couple of your guys.
Oh, yeah. Gavin Sheets and Danny Mendick won the Barstool Classic. Danny hit me up the day or two before the event, and he's like, hey, tell Riggs we're about to break the course record. So I sent a screenshot to Riggs. Riggs responded, haha, I get that all the time. They actually did it and broke the course record and won the tournament. I think they won $1,000 a piece. Good for them. And
I feel like you should invite them to come spend that at the Barstool River North Bar.
I will, but Danny plays for the Mets now, and Gavin Sheets is in Arizona getting ready for spring training. So
eventually,
maybe.
But they're friends of the program.
Yeah, they are.
I'm sure Danny Mendick will be back.
I hope he is.
I mean, you might have to just do like Sons of Danny Mendick now.
I actually think I'm going to. Yeah. He's on I don't.
Although you hate the Mets now.
I hate KFC. I don't hate the Mets. Okay. But I've always kind of hated KFC. He's a lowlife. But
I like KFC.
In that note, I like KFC too, but that doesn't mean he's not a lowlife. But I mean, we're all lowlifes in some form. But Danny's going to win the starting second base job for the Mets. He's hell bent on it, and I will be rooting for him. He's
a White Sox Dave kind of guy.
He is, because he works his dick off and he doesn't take no for an answer. And he until he got hurt last year and kind of paved way for Elvis Andrews to go on his torrid MVP style pace in the last third of the season last year. Danny Mendick was doing the same thing. He was playing outstanding baseball, and the White Sox decided to non-tender him and let Rami Gonzalez, Lennon Sosa, and Lurie Garcia battle it out for second base, even though Danny Mendick is the best player out of all of them. It's pretty fucked up if you ask me, but that's just the way the White Sox do things in fucked up manners.
Yeah, so they're not going to be at Barstool River North. You and I will be. So
Yes.
Super Bowl Sunday, there's a pen event there. We want everybody to come out. That's my last great gambling day of the season because I only do little sprinkles during March Madness because I don't watch basketball until Selection Sunday or conference tournament time. So I try not to get too out of control. This is the time. This is last bullet in the gun kind of situation for football season.
Last gun in the bullet.
Well, the Portnoy way. Yeah. That's an old school throwback. But it is also prop time. So that to me, it's everybody gets in on the action. You don't necessarily care who wins because you have all the different props. Our book has a ton of props. I don't know if you were scanning through it.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what do you have in terms of bets for that game?
So I, like you, all right, first and foremost, non-prop related, I will be betting the Chiefs money line. I do think they are the better team.
That's even money too. Yeah, I think they're the better team too.
I saw them at 1.5 on the Barstool Sportsbook, getting 1.5.
Yeah. Money line is plus 100.
Yeah, so they're a toss-up. Yeah, yep. I do think the Chiefs are the better team. I mean, you and I have talked about this a couple times over the last few weeks. The Eagles really haven't played anybody. Now they're a very good team.
Totally,
they're the best team in the NFC by far.
Mm-hmm. But this is the best team
that they face. Without question. Without question.
Mahomes played well against the Bengals.
Yep. On one leg. 2 weeks to heal. Yep.
I'm sure he'll be ready to go.
Yep.
Totally fine. Play his game the way that we're accustomed to seeing.
Mm-hmm.
I actually looked at that. I'm going to take the money line, but I think I'm also going to sprinkle on Chiefs -6. Because I think they could win that game by a touchdown. I like the Chiefs. So if you do it at -6, it's plus 210. I feel like that's a great value, triple your money basically. So I'm going to take that.
They got him by a touchdown, I think.
Yeah, I think they could do that. I mean, I love Jalen Hurts now. I was the guy that I thought he would suck in the NFL, but he's been great, and I love the way he plays. But I don't think that they can get into a track meet with the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to score. I think the Chiefs can score in a million different ways. I like the Chiefs coaching staff better. I like everything about the Chiefs better. So I'm also going to take the Chiefs over, which is 24.5. You get that at -109. And then we're going to start things off hot. I think this is the only one we're going head to head on, which is the coin toss. You're a heads guy.
I've always been.
It doesn't rhyme or anything.
That's the only reason you pick tails is because it never fails.
I've also convinced myself that the tails side is fractionally heavier.
So it has to, but I mean, I don't know the physics behind it. I've just always been a heads guy.
I don't know if that's true, but I heard that one time somewhere that when they mint the coins that the tails is slightly heavier.
Like a fraction of an ounce.
Yes.
Ounce.
Yeah.
I mean, if I heard that, I'm sure I'd be a tails guy too. But whenever I would do coin toss in high school for whatever sport, I would always pick heads. I don't know. I just always been a heads guy. But I don't like betting the coin. I don't like betting the thing first pass of the game where it's just if you lose it, you're fuck. You know, because it's just bang bang. I want that slow torturous burn.
Well, you can get, that's the thing
bets.
About the Super Bowl too, is that you can get.
There's plenty of them
everything.
For sure,
yeah.
But the coin toss specifically, and first play from scrimmage specifically, if you lose those, it takes the win right out of your sails. It's bad juju. So I need to when I walk into a casino,
mm-hmm.
I don't just bomb for the the craps table or put it all on red. I go and get a drink. I do a couple laps around the casino. I gather myself. That's me when I watch Super Bowl. I'm doing the same thing. I'm kind of feeling things out, getting the flow a little bit. And on that note, the bet that I like the most is over 0.5 interceptions for Jalen Hurts. I think he's got one in him, and that's plus money. It's at plus 110.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much a toss-up, but I think he's going to throw one pick. There's going to be one turnover by Jalen Hurts. I know it has to be a pick, but I think he's got one pick in him. And then the next one I like is Mahomes' longest pass over 37.5 yards for -112.
I like that too.
I mean, you catch Kelsey on a seam route, third play of the game, you can hit that. So yeah, those are two I like right off the bat.
Speaking of right off the bat, I like the kickoff to be a touchback too. They changed that rule, and I feel like we were talking before the show started, you've got that Devin Hester in your brain. Like Devin Hester, but there's only one Devin Hester.
But no, I'm saying them.
They're gassed up. Like
yeah,
I'm taking
they're
this
like,
out.
oh, I'm taking this to the house.
Right.
This is first play of the game, and then they fucking catch a ball and they get tackled at the 8-yard line.
But I think the coaches know that too, and the coaches are going to be like, hey,
touchback.
Yeah. And I think that probably gets drilled into them. And also, the percentage of touchbacks is just like kind of through the roof since they moved it up a little bit.
5 yards, yeah.
Yeah, like that makes all the difference in the world. You say the guy returning it might have a little bit of adrenaline going. The kicker does too. He's going to blast that thing as far as he ever has.
But I feel like they do that
life.
every time they kick.
You don't
anyways.
think you get a little extra Super Bowl sauce? You just another couple of yards, put it out the back. I think there's probably something to that. And that's minus 140. It's not like great odds, but to me, that's like you put me after I lose the coin toss bet, which I'm sure I will. You put a little money back in the bank with that minus 140. So I like that. And then the only other one I have is Pacheco plus 145 anytime touchdown score. So he's a guy involved in the run game, involved in the passing game. I feel like, if shit breaks down or it's a check down, he's a guy that Mahomes looks to. He gets like 4 or 5 catches a game, and then obviously they hand it to him inside the red zone too. I feel like that plus money for him. Like the obvious one is Kelsey. I'm sure the Eagles will be keying on Kelsey, okay, which every team should, but it hasn't really happened in the playoffs. Jags didn't do it. Bengals didn't do it. So
doesn't work. They probably tried to.
He's a fucking freak. But he's also, minus 121?
Yep.
So I feel like that's not, like for one guy, a tight end to get a touchdown, to be minus money feels like it makes me a little nervous. So I'd rather like kind of swing for the fences a little bit, plus 145 and get that.
So
I think that's all I got. And
my two swing for the fence plays. This one is it's the definition of a sprinkle. When I say sprinkle, I'll throw like $10, $20 on it. First play is safety plus 6,000 just for if it hits, sweet. If it doesn't, you lose.
Do you know who hit that like for big?
Who's that?
In the Super Bowl, it was the Seahawks Broncos one.
Who was it?
It was RA. I think RA got paid out.
I remember
like $20,000 or something like that.
Yeah. I remember that now because I was at the casino watching that game with William Williams. And then another longer shot. Total players that complete a pass over 2.5. Obviously got Mahomes and Hurts. What if Mahomes' ankle's not good? What if he has to sit out a series or two? What if they, the
little trick play?
Andy Reid gets down by a touchdown or two, and whoever, I like over 2.5. I like over 2.5, and that's at plus 215. So it's and you got to complete the pass. It's not to attempt a pass; it's to complete a pass. So that obviously, it changes it a little bit, but I do like over 2.5 players that complete a pass, and those are my two Hail Marys.
It's not the worst idea to think about a quarterback in this game getting hurt because both teams can get after the quarterback big time. Mahomes is coming in with a little lingering ankle. I don't hate that. I might look at that. And this is like another thing where like I go into Super Bowl Sunday with a plan, and then like if kickoff is at 5:20, at 5:17, I'm like this, all responsibly. But then
with money you can. It's entertainment purposes,
right? I don't like anything. Nothing brings me joy. I have no hobbies, and I don't really go out anymore. I don't have like a ton of vices. This is it for me. This is what I like to do. This is my form of entertainment, so I don't mind doing it. But it gets to the point where like I know I'll be on both sides of the same bet because I forgot about it, and then I have to probably after like the first couple things, I probably just have to put my phone away and stop like trying to keep track of the over and the completions and all that shit because I'll just figure it out after the game.
Yeah,
because I got 12
that's
things
the great
out there.
thing about the Barstool Sportsbook application on your iPhone or Android phone device is that you can just set it and forget it.
Yeah, you're in there.
As soon as that game's over, you can see what you'll probably lost.
Yeah,
hopefully won.
I had a nice little surprise because I had I went through a game. I've been like kind of hot lately, betting soccer and different things, and hockey have been kind of hot. And then I actually took money out and put it in the bank. And then so I was playing with like, I think my account had like $700 and I just bet all of it on different things. And I was like, I thought I had lost all of it down to zero. And then I woke up and I had hit like a little hockey 2-teamer parlay for like plus 210. So I got money back in there. So
there you go.
Yeah, it was nice. And so that is a nice thing, where it's like you just have to, part of you just has to like put it out of your brain once the game starts. And I can't because I can't keep track of all the different things. And it'll make me not enjoy the game. And I love football and I love the Super Bowl, the whole spectacle. I got some concerns about, well, we'll save that. We'll talk about that at Barstool River North. It's gonna be a great time. I think we're gonna have a great time there. So come on out, and then we're into like the bleak midwinter. Baseball hasn't started yet. There's nothing really to even keep track of. The only thing going is hockey and the NBA, and I feel like the NBA's biggest story just happened last night with LeBron finally breaking Kareem's record. It was a spectacle. It was like very classic LeBron. Our guy Lance, credit to Lance, he was like, he tripled down on LeBron to break the record. And he did. So he had the custom headphones. He was at home. He's playing OKC. And what did he finish with, Lance?
38, I think.
Yeah, he finished with 38, but lock of the century.
Yeah.
And he needed 32, I want to say.
He needed 36. But
he needed 36,
But
okay.
his normal line was 33.5. So if you wanted to take him to break the record, you were taking him at plus money.
Yeah.
So I took him at his normal line, and I was like, okay, I like that, even if he falls a basket short. But I mean, once I saw the numbers on the headphones, and he brought back the headband, and he got fouled like 5 times in the first quarter, I was like, let's do this.
His kids were there. Phil Knight was there. Like, did you see the picture of Phil Knight?
No.
Yeah,
okay, so it was like the perfect 2023 picture. So LeBron, did you see the winning basket, I assume?
I did, yes.
So it's like that little fadeaway from mid-range jumper, and the entire section of fans, phones out, except for Phil Knight, who's sitting underneath the basket, just no phone, just watching it, like expressionless. He had like the White Sox Dave face on.
Good.
Where he
like
just,
that.
Yeah, and obviously, they're in bed together, but Phil Knight just did not give he just watched it with his own eyeballs, like a real human being. It was nice to see. It was like refreshing. Like, look at all these assholes not really even able to enjoy it. And then you got Phil Knight there. And then the only other guy who didn't seem to care was Anthony Davis. Did you see that?
I saw that.
Anthony Davis could not be fucking bothered. Like the whole bench, like all the other guys, the coaches, training staff, are kind of like on the floor, because the play was at the other end, watching. Everyone wanted a view. Everybody has their phones out. Anthony Davis sees like LeBron with the ball with like 18 seconds left on the shot clock, just casually goes over and sits down and like kind of glances up at the Jumbotron, but just did not give a fuck. Didn't get up to celebrate.
Do you give a fuck?
Me? No. But like you would think like your teammate, that to me, like the more you think about it, that is one of like those big time records in sports. I feel like,
oh, that's a huge record.
I think it's probably,
it's like the home run record in baseball, goals scored in hockey, touchdowns, passing, it's different. Football,
but no one knows what that number is.
I couldn't even begin to tell you.
Yeah, right. So, and I almost feel like
Brady have like 600 probably.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
I feel like
everybody knows baseball.
Yeah.
Basketball, obviously, it's a much larger number, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it's a huge
deal, and so that one was just like he just didn't care, and now I feel like trending on Twitter right now is AD for KD, because AD just seems kind of fucking miserable all the time, and I know he's always hurt and this and that, but like he just seems like he wants no part of that team. That maybe he just wants to go somewhere and be the alpha, or maybe he was concerned that the Lakers ended up losing that game. They were down at that moment.
People won't remember that, will they?
Right, to just stop everything to celebrate LeBron, which they should celebrate. Like, I hate LeBron. I think everybody knows that. I've never liked LeBron. It is kind of remarkable that a guy who's 6'9", 240, who's been running, jumping, cutting, everything, has never had an injury.
He's a perfect physical specimen.
Yeah,
in
he's
every
an alien.
single way. He's a perfect physical specimen. He could have.
I
know he
didn't
played
just
high school
rely
football
on that
and everything.
either. Yeah,
I would have loved to see him play tight end or rush end.
I don't think he could do that,
dude. 6.
I think he's a pussy.
Well,
it's hard to play football.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Physically, he could, if he like had the toughness to do it. And I know it's
say
like
the same thing about Zion, but
difference.
Yeah,
he's he's huge, but I think he's in the right sport. And I just
definitely in the right sport.
Obviously,
in the right sport.
yeah. But like, so I don't really care what he could have theoretically done in football. He says he would be like in the Hall of Fame for football too, as a wide receiver. He's like, he had a quote one time. He's like, "Yeah, I just didn't have a good high school quarterback."
He was a high school All-American as a wide receiver.
Yeah, but he like
high school.
He stopped after his sophomore year, right?
Ooh, I didn't know that.
I don't think he played junior, senior year.
All-State as a sophomore, that was pretty good. But
he was 6'8" back then too. But yeah, freak athlete and remarkably durable. Like that really is that to me. Like that he didn't just like turn an ankle or pop an like
ever.
Kobe did his Achilles. Everybody
didn't he do it twice?
I don't think he. I don't think
because
so.
he was like I want to say Kobe was like when Jake Berger tore his twice. It's like no one ever comes back from an Achilles twice unless you're Kobe.
Maybe
I could be wrong.
I only remember the one time, but Kobe also was like one of the pioneers of going over to Europe to get that microfracture surgery on his knee. So Kobe had like ailments that he just battled through, and LeBron, I don't remember his. Lance, do you remember him ever having like a major?
So
injury?
he only played. Well, that was 2020. So never mind.
Yeah.
45. At a glance, in 2011, he only played 62 games, but other than that, like 75, 78 games every year. Yeah.
Nothing major. So credit to LeBron, I guess.
You got to give him credit.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, like you said, and this is the exact same argument I make for Brady. I know Brady had the ACL early in his career.
That Brady ACL was not like, I think he was like 9 years into his career.
It's still early.
Like 2008.
Early
9?
third of his career.
Yeah, I guess. But still, it wasn't like he was 22. I think he was 30 something.
But like the longevity is something that people need to talk about more, I think, because especially in football, obviously, like you're arguing GOAT in football, GOAT in the NBA. You can't ignore the longevity of what they're doing. You know, I saw a stat yesterday that if MJ played the same amount of games as LeBron, he'd have like 44,000 career points right now or something.
Yeah. There was a quote going around, and it was from like a long time ago, because I think somebody was asking Jordan about Kareem's record in the scoring title, and he goes, "I didn't play for scoring titles. I played to win and get championships." And he's like, "If I cared about records like that, I wouldn't have retired in '93, and I wouldn't have retired in '98." And he's,
he probably wouldn't have retired in 2003 or whatever it was.
Yeah, if he was just chasing it down, because I'm sure he could have just held on and got 12, 15 points a game for a while.
He's still averaging like 20-something points a game as last year, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think that's true. You could pull that up. But it was, and I don't want to make this like a Jordan's better.
20 points on the dot.
Really? Is last year?
2002, yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. Yeah, at 39 years old. So he didn't play at ages 35, 36, 37. Didn't play at all age 30 was that was the 93, 94 year that he didn't play at all. He obviously played a little bit the following year. But yeah, like Jordan, I'm tired of that argument, but it's like impossible to avoid today. And I don't think anybody I don't think this changes like the discussion, at least not for me, between those two guys. I think it's the same as it always was. LeBron just has more points because he's had more points. Now he's just the all-time leading record scorer. And then, so yeah, I would say that record, you nailed it. I think it's that one. To me, the rushing record in the NFL was always a bigger deal. Like I remember where I was when Emmitt Smith broke Walter's record.
I don't remember where I was. I remember breaking it.
Yeah.
I remember exactly what I was doing.
But I don't know what the number is. And I probably would have been like directionally correct if I had to say like, oh, how many points does Kareem have? It would have been like 38,000 something. I think I would have got that. And then
something impressive about that I saw. I want to say it was 6,000 of LeBron's career points have come via the 3-point, and only 3 of Kareem's were.
Why is that impressive to you?
I mean, if you're just standing under a basket, you got 5 guys on you and you're still dominating, I think that's pretty impressive.
I I mean, he was unguardable.
I
He
know.
had the sky hook, and he was like 7'4" or whatever he was. Like,
Was he that tall?
he's a big dude. Yeah,
I know he's huge.
Yeah,
I didn't
and
know
he's just
7'4".
fucking long. So I don't know. I don't think Kareem.
7'2", yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Kareem not having a 3-pointer. I don't know. Like that doesn't really move the needle for me for in either direction.
I mean, but LeBron had that at his disposal. Is what I'm saying. Kareem didn't. And they tried to change the NBA for Kareem. Like
I think that was college basketball.
Was that college basketball?
They outlawed the dunk.
The dunk, yeah. I don't know. Good for LeBron. I think Brandon Walker. I saw him arguing with a shit ton of people on Twitter last night. Like, LeBron's never been in trouble. That's true. Seemingly like good dad, all that stuff, which is all awesome. It's like, why do people hate this guy? Well, it's because he's really fucking cringeworthy and annoying. That's what.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
The flopping. He's done some
Yeah,
other things
exactly.
where you're like,
Shit like that. It's just
like
the decision.
He's done a lot of things that have rubbed people the wrong way, and I also think there is something to, like, he didn't win unless he had like the super team. If he had stayed in Cleveland and they found a way to get Kyrie anyways, and they won the one, like, that one championship with Cleveland is, to me, is kind of worth more than the super team ones.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a Hall of, I don't know how the NBA Hall of Fame really works, but you had Dwayne Wade, Hall of Famer. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Chris Bosh, playing the 4 or 5. He's
pretty close. They had Ray Allen
I know.
one. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, Ray Allen at the end, but still, it's just, I don't know.
I think Ray Allen put in like 50 against the Bulls in a playoff series once in a game.
That Celtics series, it went triple overtime.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the Bulls still won that game though.
I think that's the game that Rose. That was his like coming out party,
2008 or something.
Yeah,
like that,
where he went off for like 38
and Noah too,
17.
Noah and Garnett.
Yeah,
that was a great series.
I love Joakim Noah. He's coaching somewhere I saw now, which is, I love that. I want him on our show eventually one day.
Yep.
Maybe when HQ 5 or whatever we're up to now opens up, but that is I have exhausted every ounce of NBA talk I have, unless
let's not talk about it again until like May.
Okay, that's
Deal?
good with me. Deal.
Right.
But I will say this: the Bulls completely fucking suck.
Yeah. And there's no like path forward either.
I don't think so.
Like, it's not going to work with this core. It's crazy that maybe Lonzo was like the linchpin for everything, and who knows where
he has a phantom knee ailment.
We're cursed about knees.
What is the common denominator with the Bulls and White Sox?
Jerry,
yeah. So
the Bulls tried.
I'll stop it there.
The Bulls tried.
I mean, kind of because they had to. There's a salary cap. There's a salary floor. Like, they have to spend X amount of money. They just can't do anything.
No, but they could have not. They could have held on to Wendell Carter and not done the Vooch trade, which maybe they probably have regrets about that now. They didn't have to sign Levine. They could have. They could have just continued to be like, we're going to pick 7th in the lottery every year until we get it right. And they didn't do that. They tried to go out and surround Levine and see what they could do. It just did not fucking work. So they're dead in the water. It sounds like they're going to trade Caruso or try to for something, but there's just no hope and there's no excitement. At least the Blackhawks, Tom, you came in at the perfect time because we're going to start talking these Patrick Kane stuff, and I'm starting to fucking hate Rangers fans. Hate them.
You're not starting to. You've been complaining about this.
No,
for like a year
this because
Welcome.
now it's going the other way. Now it's going the other way where they're saying that they don't want Patrick Kane because he's not good anymore.
Yeah, true.
All right, get the fuck. Why are you saying that? Why are you saying that? Unless it's just to bother me.
Well, because of what the asking price would be.
But I don't think the asking price is going to be very much. What is too much in your opinion? Because he has a full no trade clause. So he could say, I want to play with Panarin and be in New York so my dad can drive down to the games from Buffalo, and they'll have to work out a deal with the Rangers. I don't think it's going to be – the Rangers have all the leverage.
Here's the thing. Like, in a way, it is like he's not – like, I don't know how if that's how you're taking it, but my argument would be like is that Patrick Kane isn't good enough to be what sets the Rangers – to like have them win a Stanley Cup. They're not one Patrick Kane away.
They might
for what they need to give up.
What else? What do you think that? What is that? What do you think they need to give up? Because I don't think it might be a first round pick.
I've just seen like people like well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've just seen from Twitter, kind of like what you're seeing too, which is getting you worked up. So,
well, I'm seeing people like putting out like the bars and graphs again.
like a Lafreniere Kravtsov first and a second, and like retaining half his salary, like all of that.
I think I think
so
the Hawks
established or like prospects like that we're still working on plus picks. It's just a lot for a playoff rental where we're not even sure if that's what's going to bring us to the promised land.
Yeah. Well, I do think this is probably the easiest path to the finals. The Rangers,
but maybe we're gaslighting you. Maybe we're like we don't even want him, and now you're like arguing that
you better fucking take him.
Yeah,
yeah. Because I'm trying to pull up. I'm pulling up the Rangers lineup, their most recent lineup. So this is from their game on 2/7. You're looking at your right wings, okay? Jimmy Vesey.
Beast.
Okay.
Dog.
Barclay Goodrow.
He's all right.
Kako.
Dog.
Sammy Blaze. Those are your right wings. You're saying that Patrick Kane sliding on the right wing instead of Jimmy Vesey doesn't help you win the Stanley Cup?
No, I want Patrick Kane, but
yeah.
I mean, it just all depends on what it depends on how we would get him. It depends is it going to be like a rental, and the NHL cap is infuriating, man. It's like you're not allowed to have players that develop and become good.
Yeah,
it's so annoying. It's like we're already having a conversation. Like there's a whole factor of Rangers fans who almost get like it's like they want to be like a Debbie Downer. Like once Heedle's doing well, like don't forget we can't afford him. Like it just sucks. Like you have all these like you have a prospect, he becomes so good that you're like, well, we're not going to be able to afford him and Condrey Miller and Kako and Lafreniere. And
do you know who you're talking to right now?
Yeah, I was even about to say that.
No, but it's like the NHL. It's the cap. You know what
agree.
I mean? It's not like if it was the owner, it'd be one thing, but it's the cap.
No,
it just makes
you know
no
what you
sense.
can do, Tom? You can blame Canada.
That is part.
No, we're supposed.
True.
Oh yeah, are we supposed to be blaming like Arizona, like the
Arizona too? But you could also blame Gary. But there should be some kind of rule, like the NBA has it. It's called like the Larry Bird exception, where it's like if he's your own guy, you can go over the cap to like a percentage to retain your own guy. But like the Hawks would have won like 10 in a row if there was no cap.
At some point, it feels like in order to win a Stanley Cup, there's like some kind of luck where like you lucked into having the players, but like at the time of their career where their contracts all fit together.
But I think, Jimmy,
that's up to a fucking front office and analytics department and all that to navigate those waters.
But like the thing about the cap, it's like there just seems to be like this cycle that I don't understand where the Rangers were in it since the rebuild of like you have like veterans, but then also you draft, and if you draft, you can draft too well, where then all of a sudden you have these prospects that grow up and then they become too expensive, so you trade them away for mid-range veterans, and it's like what are we like a farm system?
That goes back to like your big problem with Lafreniere and Kako.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Hawks won it in 10 when Taves and Kane were, and I think Keith too, and maybe Seabrook too, were all still on their rookie deals. John Emerson definitely was. So then they signed like their RFA deal, which they went from making the league minimum, the rookie salary of like $900,000 to making 6.3, and they won 2 cups at that number. And then they were free agents again. They signed for the 10.5. They haven't won a playoff series since.
Right.
But if they didn't have
because it's like you had them, like you won those while Patrick Kane
were still affordable.
Right?
Yeah, or more affordable. But
it's like a death sentence once your player becomes so good that he needs double-digit contract.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And you already have one on the books with Panarin. But like you're only talking about 2 months of Patrick Kane. So you would have to give up. And
this is where this is the thing though, dude. Like you'll come in like almost mad, and I'm like, I'm trying to catch up with what you're mad about because I'm like I got all jokes aside, I don't even know what the latest would be about triggering you because I just feel like I'm on like a different
you're on a different
New York Rangers Twitter.
So the Rangers Twitter that I've seen are people not saying we can't afford them or the price is too much. They're putting out like the analytics bar graphs where they're like, well, he only has a 1% WAR, which WAR is like a made up stat. It like it's not a good stat for hockey, but people just look at like blue lines and green lines or blue lines and red lines, be like, he's good, he's bad.
There's a shit ton of like letters and variables.
I think
stuff.
this came out after because the Timo Meier one came out, and it was like his was like absurd. I don't even know what these. Yeah. He has some stats like small boxes of WAR, whatever, that are like 99, and like compared to Kane, it's like, well, wait, we don't want Patrick Kane now. It's
right. But maybe Timo Meyer is also playing with Erik Karlsson, and like I know San Jose is bad, but like they have like better players around him. And Patrick Kane, like I watched that game last night. He had an assist, but like he probably should have had like 4 assists because he's creating space and creating Kane. Yeah. And they're playing a bad team, Anaheim, but it was just like he is still so fucking awesome. So when I see these charts and graphs, I'm like, these people just don't watch the games. Like they don't watch the games. And like the idea of being like, we're going to take Jimmy Vesey and move him. I don't even think that he's on their top line right now with Panarin and Zibanejad, and we're going to put Kane in that spot. You're way closer to Stanley Cup than you were today. But having said that, I don't think a deal is going to get done, but I'm still angry at Rangers fans in the process because they're shitting on.
But now do you want to call them greaseball cocksuckers?
A little bit.
No. Well, now I don't even know what you want, Ryan. Like you don't you want to retain Kane, but you want us to say.
But I want you to
beg
be
for him.
I want you to be respectful. I want you to want him. That's what I want. But I want you to want him.
I think that's completely fair.
Yeah, I want you to be respectful of the greatest American-born player who ever lived.
I think
Stanley
it's like
Cup.
a masterful troll that you're falling into.
I think
can't
that New York
imagine.
fans are just that dumb.
But
It's hockey fans. It's like the hockey.
Well, I can't speak for everyone you're seeing on Twitter, but I think it's a great it's like a neg, you know. Like also you're saying like you're like how this conversation. Oh, I'm starting to get. You've been mad about Rangers fans for over a year about this, so now maybe it's like it gets to the point where like, all right, fine,
we don't want what I'm talking about now though.
I was mad before at Ranger fans because they were in my mentions and I'm not ready to let him go. So they're like, oh, I would get these photoshops of an '88 in a Rangers jersey. I'm like, I don't want to fucking see that.
Yeah.
And it's been like a year plus of that because this is going back to last year's deadline too, and like the Rangers make a lot of sense, especially because they.
I'm seeing that a lot. That's a popular headline.
Yeah, he makes sense there because of that fucking Jimmy Vesey on their.
So you think they are one? That you think they're a Kane away from winning?
Part of the equation for me is that if you look at the Eastern Conference. In the NHL as a whole, I don't think there's like a team that's like, oh fuck, like they're unbeatable.
The Bruins.
I don't think that they are though. Like if you tell me a conference final between.
No, I'm just scared. Chief, I mean between me and you, I think they're like a. Yeah, I don't have that much like. I don't know. I don't have that much confidence in them, but like I would hate to have that soundbite. I'm not saying it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say it.
But
yeah, I think the Bruins in a playoff series, especially. If Igor is playing up to his best, then a Rangers team with Patrick Kane has enough to beat the Bruins.
Oh yeah,
and this is before the deadline, and who knows what else happens. And then you look at Carolina. Like I won't believe in them in the playoffs until they actually do it.
Never.
Devils, that would be their first round matchup. I think I would like the Devils.
I have
in
a
that
future
series.
on the Devils not making the playoffs.
Oh, they're going to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. They're going to make the playoffs.
They're
11 points clear of the Islanders.
I placed it like 2 months ago, but
with 4 months. Yeah,
I was betting on the Islanders making it and knocking them out.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting race because Buffalo's
a good bet though, right, Ryan?
Yeah, it's
right.
Logically,
yeah,
directionally,
it was $50 to win $1,000.
Yeah, no, that's a good bet. Yeah. But I don't think it's gonna.
Yeah, no, not now. Yeah,
but I think I would bet the Rangers in a head-to-head with them, and yeah, so that's. I think the Rangers are pretty fucking close, and I think the Hawks. That's the thing that I'm getting annoyed with too with our management. Is just like they won't say like, yeah, this is our plan, this is what we're doing. Like Davidson, and even I think I might have said this somewhere else, but I had a meeting with them in like May, and I asked him like to his face, like what's the situation, and he's like, well, I don't think it's my place to tell them to leave. And I'm like, well, their contracts are up, so are you gonna offer them one? And like that's where we're at, like this like kind of roadblock where it's like no one's really saying anything. And now finally Kane had a couple quotes like, yeah, like maybe I got a list of teams that have inquired from my agent, and maybe there's something interesting there, but like kind of non-committal, but not, either way.
Yeah.
But it's just like, hey, if you want him back, or you don't want to trade him, or you do want to trade him, just fucking say it. Because I think if Kane thought that he had a contract offer coming from the Blackhawks to stay 3 years, well, then that changes his thought process. Where it's like, maybe I will.
I see what you're saying.
Like in either way, maybe he's like, yeah, I'll agree to a trade, but I want a 3-year deal at this number in the summer to come back, and I'll just leave my family here and whatever. or the opposite, where it's like, oh, you're not going to resign me? Well, then fuck you. I'm not going to help you do anything. I'll stay here. I'll figure out where I'm moving in the summer. But no one's really saying anything, and it's driving me crazy.
That would be infuriating.
Yeah. So I just tell them, just give me something so I know how to feel. And because I think we're like 20 days away now.
Can you, dumb hockey.
You don't have to qualify it. We know who's asking.
Could you do a sign and trade?
What do you mean? Like sign him
extend them and trade them?
Well, then they would own the contract. That's not a dumb hockey question. That's just a dumb question.
Well, I'm saying it'll give him more security.
Yeah, but he's going to get that in the summer regardless. So
that answers it.
Yeah, contract's up at the end of this year.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So if the Rangers were to get him, the problem is you have him as a rental, and then in the off season he's a free. Like, how does that work then? Like that's where I come in with NHL contracts. Like, is his contract? He's just a free agent that can sign anywhere.
Correct.
Yeah, like that's what gets.
Yeah, so it's like, are you willing?
Whatever we gave up is just for a few months. Yeah.
Yeah, but it could result in a trip to the finals.
Well, what do you think out of that range? Okay, so like, what would you think out of that would be like a fair proposed trade? Because at this point, I've like lost my mind about it too.
I think a realistic.
I've been in and out. Believe me, I've been in and out of like, I want Kane. I don't. Okay, it's like. Maybe it's not worth even thinking about that. All right, now I kind of want it. Like, so now I'm like lost of like where his value would even be. What would make sense for the Rangers to give up?
I think that the first round pick in this upcoming draft is good enough.
I would do that.
Yeah,
easily.
Not even.
Do that.
And I think that's
Kane in a Rangers jersey. Yeah,
and I think that's a realistic ask because they don't like, even though Laugh and Kako haven't.
I mean, it's a steal for you. Could you imagine?
Yeah. For 2 months, but it's like also like it cost me like my heart and my soul.
Yeah.
So, and I want him back, and that's where it's like, why don't they just sit down and be like, we want you back for next year, or we don't, and then give Kane all the information so he knows what to do. And my gut says that if Davidson were telling the truth, he'd want to get rid of everybody. He would get rid of Kane. He'd absolutely try to get rid of Taves. I'm starting to think that one's more plausible, Taves to Colorado, Carolina, something like that. But I think that a first-round pick for Kane, especially in this draft, which is going to be deep, you already have 2 first-round picks. It's a late one, so it's not like the Rangers are going to be getting some like immediate franchise-altering guy, and then we're not plucking away from the core of your team. I think the Hawks would even, to make it work for the cap, and because the Hawks are going to have a hard time getting to the salary floor next year, I'm not sure if the Rangers have a contract that you just fucking hate.
Are you kidding me?
Give me one. Well, not besides, I don't want Trouba. Besides Trouba. But if there's like a forward,
that was gonna be my one. Yeah. Well, Barclay Goodrow he's tied up for a lot of years for some reason. That kind of sucks.
5 more years.
Trocheck is going to be like not a killer, but like he's in there for a long haul. So like that's going to be. I like him, but that's like 6.5 or something on the books for 7 years. It's a lot. Him and Goudreau are on the books for a while, which are gonna come back to bite us. And I mean, I don't know, dude. It's kind of impossible to have that conversation without talking about Jacob Trouba. Yeah. Jacob Trouba would be like my favorite Ranger of all time if he was making like $4 million.
Yeah, I mean, because he's not like as bad as people say, and he brings that
$8 million. He is.
Yeah. But the cap's going to go up. But yeah, no, I think you're probably right about that too. But it's those deals. I was hoping that Sammy Blais was.
Sammy Blais, that's the other thing, dude. I mean, I don't want to go off about the Rangers on this podcast, but like that's what's infuriating about you're running down our right wing problem. We used to have a surplus of right wings, and then we traded away Booch for Blais straight up, and now Blais sucks. Like
so if we want to take back Sammy Blais for the rest of this year, if that and retain 50% to, I don't know if you guys want to throw in like a B-level prospect in addition to that first-round pick. I feel like there's a deal to be made there if people stop being assholes about it. And that goes for your fans. It goes for the Blackhawks front office, Patrick Kane's agent. Everybody connected to this situation is pissing me off.
Well, I'm going to apologize for nothing.
Yeah. All right, and that's what it is. I think the Blackhawks will trade Athanasiou, Domi, McCabe, and Lafferty. I think all 4 of those guys will get traded, and then they'll have.
That is everybody.
Yeah, and then maybe Taves. Maybe.
When was
Kane.
the last time a team had a problem with the floor?
It has not happened.
That's hysterical.
It has not happened. So I do think that they'll trade Domi, and then I've been told that they're going to re-sign Domi in the summer because they love him. And so he was on a 1 year, $3 million.
I like when that happens.
Yeah, he was on a 1 year, $3 million. Let's just do it again next year.
I kind of like. I kind of like when that happens when a team trades away for rental and they just take him back.
Yeah,
I would. Speaking of that, I would love Tyler Mott at the deadline.
Where's he now?
Ottawa, right?
Ottawa, yeah. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's like I'm starting to get like antsy about it.
Me too. I mean, me too. There. Like we're in kind of like very opposite ends of the spectrum, but like very similar. Where like the deadline is going to be like super important.
I don't know if I can come into work that day.
I know. I'm like the deadline gets talked about so much that like almost every day I have to Google like when is it again?
Yeah.
How far away?
March 3rd.
It feels like it gets closer.
Yeah.
And you're like it's only been one more day.
Yeah.
We're not getting any closer.
And I do feel like some of that like in the last week, the Horvat trade. When the Horvat trade happened,
right, that made me think like,
oh
wait,
now the flood's gonna come, and it's
in my head I was like, oh wait, the deadline's like next week, right? Nope.
Yeah, so it's gonna be it's a tense time. I'm not ready to say goodbye to either one of them, and I hope Kane is here for the long haul. I don't think they're as far away as people think. From like you don't have to like I'm just saying like be average. Like you can cobble together a lineup that can be average if you get Connor Bedard like in a year or maybe two. Like you can be right there. So, but that's it. That's all I got. You got anything else, Dave?
Can't say I do. That was actually good hockey talk. I learned.
Yeah, I'm glad Tom.
I love hockey talk.
Yeah, and then this is our last like official Red Line Radio. So
yeah, we
starting on as we said at the top of the show, starting on Valentine's Day, we're the mid show. So that'll be live on YouTube, on Barstool Chicago YouTube. So subscribe there. It will also appear on the Red Line Radio feed. So if you're listening to the audio, you'll just be getting this normal show that you get on Thursdays.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything.
Plus,
you just sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
So you won't have to just wonder where to find it.
Subscribe to YouTube if you haven't.
Yeah, please do that. And then that's it. And we'll see everybody at Barstool River North on
Sunday and Tuesday.
And the following Saturday morning for the Vestathon. We're having a Vestathon for CPD. We're going to put out more about that.
Yeah.
But it's a little brunch kind of fundraiser. So police, that'll be on 218. So police are able to not have to buy their own bulletproof vests, which seems like something a reasonable thing that the city should. Yeah. So so that's what we're doing on 218. So a lot of events at Barstool River North coming up in the next week or so. And but yeah, I'm looking forward. I can't wait for Tuesday. Actually, I'm very excited for the start of the new show. So the mid show, everybody that you're accustomed to. Tom will be on the mic even more than he was today. Danny will be involved, and we're just gonna start pumping out more stuff for you guys. So thanks everybody for listening. Please subscribe, and we'll see you when, Dave?
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.